he's really beating my ass. Do you like your haircut? Well, you might have to cut it tomorrow. So I'm always constantly changing my body depending on knowing what movies are coming up and what guys I know I can kind of look like. You're getting hit by a car and just pray that you get back up because someone's got to get beat up. I'm a stuntman. My name is Steve Brown. I'm a professional stuntman, and I've been working in the industry for 8 years. The stuntman is the guy who's behind the veil. This is the kind of person that's a chameleon. Do you like your haircut? Well, you might have to cut it tomorrow. Maybe you have to put on a wig. Maybe you have to shave it. You might even have to put weight on, depending on if you have to double an actor and be somebody else, or they need a particular type of villain, because someone's got to get beat up. It can't be an extra, and it shouldn't necessarily, usually won't be an actor, it'll be a stunt person who can hopefully have some acting chops, so. Yeah, I've worked in, I've been very fortunate to work on quite a few movies. I worked and got killed by Denzel Washington in The Equalizer. I worked in 300 Rise of an Empire as a Spartan. I even got to do some of the Transformer reshoots and some of the Bumblebee reshoots where I get to play Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in some of the fight scenes. Did some of the work in Ninja Turtles to, Batman vs. Superman, Ant-Man. We did the movie Logan, and currently been working on the movie Avatar. Oh man, this is one of those things about Hollywood that I wish more people would actually understand. For me, I'm never going to get cast as a black man. Never. Unless it's that movie where they call for that need. So for me, I'm actually half Asian. So I'm actually too white to be Asian, and I'm actually too Asian to be white. So I'm kind of stuck in this little gray area. So there's times where it's like I'm ambiguous, so it's okay. I've even played Russian a couple times. And there's times where I play Asian or white. But for me, I could get this gray area. But sometimes when they need a person who's truly from China or Asia or America, they're going to look for some sort of Matthew McConaughey type of guy, or they're going to look for a Jet Li type of person. So it really does depend on my look and my build. If I'm too muscular, it might not be the right role. If I'm too fat. So I'm always constantly changing my body depending on knowing what movies are coming up and what guys I know I can kind of look like. So I can kind of change my shape to that if I want to work. And I do. 100%. That man is incredible. He's a legend in the industry. He's someone who can actually act and perform, and he's really made action comedy really just incredible. But even just action in general, he knows how to do stunts and design it as well, and his team. I think that's what also is incredible too. It's not just one man. Yeah, he's performing it, but he has a team of guys. It's like a dance. It's like you can't be an incredible dancer without your partner. And he has a whole team of guys that are incredible. So I have to tip my hat off to not just him, but him and his team. It's funny because when I talk to other people and I explain about stunts, there's acting where you're verbally and emotionally saying things. And then there's a side too where it's still acting when I'm performing it physically. So if I'm getting shot and killed, I'm not actually getting shot or killed, but I better make the audience believe that just happened. Or if I'm getting beat up by Superman, I better make it look like he's a hero. Like I got to be a very bad guy and tough, and I have to play the role, have great timing, and I have to sell to the audience that he's really beating my ass. So acting is incredibly important. It's synonymous with someone actually saying lines and someone actually just being in the scene. That's like rolling the dice. You could, knock on wood. I've been pretty lucky that I haven't really broke too many bones. Had a couple injuries, but nothing that's really stopped me or hindered me. But, you could roll your ankle just walking. And I think that's something it's usually the most dangerous. But usually we try to mitigate the risk when we set up a stunt. We try to figure out all the possible downfalls of a stunt. And then sometimes when you're getting hit by a car, and just pray that you get back up. That is a lot of it. A significant amount of it actually. Because if you think about it, if you're a stunt coordinator, your job is to design action, and you're also there to keep people safe, including performers, the actors, and the crew. So if I don't know you, I don't know if you can actually be safe for not just yourself, but everyone else around you. So yeah. And if I hit word of mouth where I know someone is supposed to be good and there's someone that I trust his opinion. He goes, no, this guy's really good. He's solid, he's on point, and he can crush this. Probably going to hire him. It really depends on the actor, and I think it kind of depends on any relationship. But I think overall, the relationship's always been really good. They already got casted. They're already the man. So if I'm coming in double-end actor, I just want to let them know, I'm like, hey, look, you just tell me how you want it done. I'm here to help make you and your character look strong your way. So for me, I never had any problems because I want to make their character look good their way. It's not mine. So it really doesn't matter what I think or how I want it. And because I make sure that they understand that, usually we have a great relationship. I'm just there to make them look great. Man, there's a lot of uncertainty. When you're working, you're in a high tide. It's great. You're working. But then if you get hurt, you just fell off that tide. If maybe the next set of movies that are coming out, they don't want a half Asian guy. They want like 6'5" Samoan dudes, or they want black guys, or they want Asian guys. It really depends on what's coming out. So you're really kind of seasonal in that regards, And the same thing with your skill set. If your skills and talents, and I always give the example of a mechanic. If you could fix Ford vehicles, but that's all you could fix, but then someone comes to you with a Toyota or a Chevy and you can't fix it, well, you just limited yourself with the amount of work that you can do. And if I changed the Ford vehicle with, say, martial arts, let's say you can do Taekwondo. No one wants a Taekwondo fighter. They want someone who can do Jiu-Jitsu. If you can do Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, that means you're a mechanic who's well-rounded. So the more you develop your skill sets in all these different areas, the more employable you make yourself, giving yourself the best chance to get a job. Yes, 100%. And there's a lot of times where, I've been called for a few jobs where they want me to do some driving. If they want me to slide within 10 feet of the camera, sure, I'll consider it, but I want to know the limitations. If you want me to kiss that camera, you want me to go around certain things, you want to do something else, we're going to call some other guys. We're going to call some guys that this is their backbone, this is their strong point. So therefore, I would never call myself a driver when I know that we have some of the top, most baddest dudes in the industry to do those things. And, if I make one mistake, it might not just be my next job, it might also be someone's life. So it really does matter. And knowing my limitations keeps myself safe, but other people safe too. Man, I feel like if you go way back, Charlie Chaplin is probably going to be one of the top guys. It's one of the pioneers of it. Jackie Chan's definitely going to be up there because he's one of those guys that did his own stunts and kind of came all the way through. But then I think there's also a lot of other guys that are stuntmen, and there's some guys in our industry that people don't know. But, Troy Robinson doubles Vin Diesel. That dude is a true cowboy of stunts. And there's a whole generation of guys. Chad Stahelski is now a big-time director, but he was a badass stuntman, and he still trains his ass off. He still keeps the bar superiorly high. And then you have guys like Garrett Warren, you got Brad Allen, Brad Martin, and J.J. Perry. These are all guys who are big-time second unit directors, stunt coordinators now. And when they were doing stunts, they were doing stunts without pads. They had to do it the hard way. Now, with visual effects, and sometimes we do have to man up and actually get hit by that car, like I said, or set on fire. But they had to really refine a lot of those things. If they did a stair fall, those probably metal stairs all the way down, and they had to get back up and do it again. And those guys really, really set the tone for current action design nowadays. Yeah, I think you can definitely be universal. I think being well-rounded is very strong. But then a lot of times we want specialty players, So sometimes if I need a bunch of parkour guys, I need high-level parkour athletes who can really hammer out a certain scene. If we're doing Planet of the Apes, I need my guys who look like apes, who can move like apes, but then they got to be able to fly through the air and just really just crush it. And someone who's well-rounded can probably keep up. But those people that you want to really show in the center frame, you want to make sure those guys are the top dogs. So yeah, you need to have a specialty skill set. And I think even when you're a new stunt guy starting out, it also helped me because my background was in wrestling. So I wrestled all throughout high school and in college, coached for a couple years. I was an All-American, so I was top 8 in the U.S. And my wrestling background gave me the avenue to when I got into stunts where it's like I got to meet other people. So I need to learn how to do martial arts. I need to learn how to do Muay Thai, use weapons, wushu. So they wanted to learn some wrestling. So I could teach them some wrestling. They would teach me some wushu. So I'm learning from the best guys and you're kind of like trading your skills. So it helped me be a valuable asset to other people. But if you don't have any skills, then you probably just need to pay someone to help build some sort of level, The last few years has been a few big accidents. I think that no one ever wants that to happen. I think the one that stands out the most is probably Deadpool 2. And may she rest in peace, it's a very sad situation, but I think that she wasn't warranted to be in that situation. She should not have been. She was not a proper veteran stunt woman. And I think that that's where you need a black female stunt double to go this black female actor isn't always the answer, especially when it comes to safety. There's plenty of guys that could have done the job, guys or women, but they probably weren't the right ethnicity. But if they're the right size and you got the right costume on and it's going to keep someone safe and it's still going to look great, it's like, just make the right call. There's definitely a few out there. I think Zoe Bell is one of the biggest ones I can think of. She's one of the most badass women I've ever met. And she's an incredible actress. And so she's definitely one of the people that probably stands out in my mind that as far as that made that transition. And it's funny because, for a lot of stunt women or stunt men, it's actually very difficult to make that transition because a lot of them have aspirations of being an actor, but then they start doing so well as a stuntman, you have to step aside from one part of your career to actually pursue the other one. And, it's almost what we call it golden handcuffs, where you're working and you want to start pursuing acting, but then you're going to go into just audition rooms and you're not working. You can't necessarily do both because if you're already working as a stuntman, you don't have time to do all those auditions. Nah, I would say no. It doesn't take away from our jobs. I think that if anything, it actually makes some of it easier and softer because there's parts where, let's go back to car hits. Nowadays we'll do a lot of digital car hits, but then sometimes we'll do half real, half fake and kind of blend them together. And a lot of times in a lot of the visual effects or in motion capture, they need real human movement. And now that the graphics are getting so good, they need our movements to kind of really set the tone for their digital characters. And so I think that it's not replacing our jobs at all. Everything is making it easier and more fun. I get to be usually some sort of alien and do something wild and different. You can't. The best thing you can do is just train and just be well-rounded. You can kind of see what's coming up, try to put some feelers out there, see what shows are getting ready to start up. If Planet of the Apes is starting up, well, I'll probably start learning some ape moves if I'm trying to get in this movie. I'm going to try to freshen my parkour, try to figure who the coordinator is and see if there's anything I can do to work my way in to get in front of his face to hopefully get a job, But other than that, it's rolling dice. So that's one of the tough things about being a stuntman. You're working or you're not. Depends on how badly you fuck up. But sometimes, if it's so bad and they don't have time is the worst enemy of any production. Only certain directors and certain people or certain scenes will have the time allocated to actually get it right. If it's an important piece that has to be done and they have to do it well, you could do it 50 times. You can do it 60 times. But a lot of times it's going to be 2-3 takes and we got to move on. We're running out of time. And that's really where it's going to come down to. You really want a strong stunt coordinator who's got a great team, who can really make sure he's got guys who can just fire it off, be on point, and do it. Because if you take forever to do it today, they're probably not going to call you back because you're not helping them out whatsoever. So you have a stunt coordinator. The stunt coordinator is going to be the person that's in charge of your action design. And then between them, and a lot of stunt coordinators are also your second unit directors when it comes to action scenes. And they'll kind of be the ones also filming it. But the stunt coordinators are the ones who really, They hire the stunt performers. They design the action. They figure out the safety. They figure out the logistics of it. And then usually by the guys they have on their team, they'll have an assistant coordinator and a fight choreographer, and then their main doubles. And then they start taking the scenes. They read it. They dissect it. And they start coming up with ideas and start bringing the words to life. I think that there's always a genre for everything, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with Bollywood except for the fact that it feels more like the Wild Wild West. They kind of they shoot whatever they want. They do it however they want. I don't know if they really think about safety as much as we do here in Hollywood. They seem to be doing all right. They like their over-the-top action, and if their people love it, I mean, it's not bad. Everyone's got their own, take on things. So keep getting it, Bollywood. I would tell a fresh stuntman that I would ask him, like, what's your skill set? What can you do? Why should I hire you? Because I don't need someone who can just fall down. I need someone who can actually be talented. So from their skill set, okay, you can fight. Show me a reel. Make a demo reel. Because without seeing you physically move, I don't know anything about you. So make a demo reel first, showcasing what you can do. And then find people that are already established stuntmen. They'll usually be very helpful and giving you advice. And when they give you advice, adhere to it. If they tell you to learn how to shoot and edit, you should probably go learn Muay Thai. You should go learn this art or that art. Do it. Come back. And then bother them too. Like, hey, check this out. Get more notes. And you can constantly refine your skills. And you have nothing to lose in that situation. But if you get hired and you suck and you don't do well, you can't expect to get hired again. Oh, man. I've had a pretty fun journey, and I think that my first stunt job was this movie called Olympus Has Fallen. It had Gerard Butler, and it was North Korean terrorists storming the White House. And I had to do this ratchet. So that ratchet's on this high-powered system where I'm on a wire, and it rips me through the air. And I did the rehearsals, and they're like, all right, you got this, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's just like the rehearsal, right? I know the pads won't be there in the day, and I won't have the helmet, but yeah, I feel good. And then on the day, they were like, all these people kept coming up like, yo, you sure you're good? And I'm like, yeah, why does everyone keep asking me this? And then we had the safety meeting, and they're like, all right, we're going to have this propane explosion. It's going to blow 30 feet up. We're going to have these mortars, and it's going to blow this debris, and it's going to blow these windows, and this is all going to happen, and everyone's said. And then that's when I realized, holy shit, that's what all these guys were talking about. And I remember when everything got set in place, I had to put some fire gel on in case I got burned from the fire a little bit. And when we got there, and I remember there was me and two other guys by this doorway, and we were in place, and everyone else was in the crew was so far away from the explosion. I could barely hear the megaphone because I had earplugs in, I had fire gel all over. I could just feel my heart racing. And it was a very faint, like a 3, 2, 1. And then I had to go on a go of go. And I remember right before we did it, the guy to my left, Gary Stearns, incredible stuntman, he was just like, all right, guys, just like we rehearsed. And I said, go of go. He goes, that's right. And then that's when we heard the countdown. And that was the last thing. And then that's the only thing I needed to remember. And that's what soothed me, calmed me, so that when I heard 3, 2, 1, go, I turned, I did my step, and everything just happened. We got blown up and fire was all around. It was wild. They called cut. And that's when I knew. I was like, damn, this is wild. This is crazy. But thanks to that one guy, Gary Stearns, my very first big stunt, I was safe and good because of him. I truly believe it. I think it comes with, if you're watching this video, you know the job exists. I'm a professional stuntman. I think that's the first place to know that it's a real job. It's cool. I love it. I get to be a kid all day long and play with guns, do things with weapons, get blown up. And I'm still here. And I feel like it reminds me of being a kid playing in the woods, knowing that, all right, California and even Atlanta right now, there's 2 hotbeds for films. Get there. And then right now we're in Tempest free running. This is where all the top best stuntmen train when they're not working. You can come here in an open gym, try to network, connect with guys, meet people, train. And when you're not working, and to me, it's like you can't expect to get hired if you don't refine your skill set. So go to the places where you can train and learn and meet people. So if you want to learn, that's how you get started. Well, as a stuntman, you start off as, you try to build your name, you try to create a skill set, you try to get work, and as you get known and recognized by other stunt coordinators, hopefully you're working regularly and hopefully you're staying safe. But then as you start having the opportunity to work, you can decide to do a car hit or not and do something else. So you kind of have a little bit more luxury in deciding if you want to take a job or not. At the same time, once you become more established and become a veteran, you usually become an assistant stunt coordinator or a fight choreographer. Probably from there, building up to being a stunt coordinator in time. And then now you're the one that is a department head, running shows, hiring and designing action. And then from there, I think becoming a second unit director, or in some cases like Chad Stahelski, you choose the directing route and try to nail your own feature film. I have fun. I work with awesome people. I get to meet incredibly talented people. I get to meet creative people. I feel like I have the opportunity to live life. I mean, I've been able to travel all over the world, working in Budapest, Malaysia, New Zealand, all over the United States. And every day it's always a new challenge, a new task, because, it's like no stunt is ever really the same. It's like you're learning you have to do a fight scene, but now you're doing your underwear on ice, but you still have to look good. And it's like, oh man, that's a wild challenge, but okay, this is what we got to do. Oh, and by the way, you got to wear a prosthetic suit. So it's always different, and it's always fun. It's challenging and great. Not working and knowing when my next job's going to be, it's just so much uncertainty, but there's no normality in our job. So if I remember one of the, maybe it was back in like 8-9 years ago, I was working. I had like 2-3 months worth of jobs. It was awesome. It was great. And then I had nothing for like 3 months. I thought my phone was broken. I was like, what the hell? Why is this not working? Like, try to send emails and you don't know when the next job's going to be. And it was just dried up. I just wasn't probably that I did anything wrong. It's just no one needed me and probably knew me, or wrong timing, So I think that's the hardest part, is never knowing when your next job's going to be. I would say if they want to be stuntmen, I think that you should go for it. But remember, when we do stunts and we're doing wild and crazy things, we're not actually trying to kill ourselves. I actually do want to wake up tomorrow and I actually want to be able to live my life. But explore your limits, and I think that you can go to the places that you can do that. Like, again, Tempest free running. These guys are learning body movement. Go to gymnastics, and I think that wrestling and other sports are so good for kids because you're learning body awareness. You're learning how to fall. You're learning to do these things. And then from there, you just keep building your skill set, and then it gets surrounded by professionals, and you learn how to make it look cool. And then you learn how to do that movie magic side of things. And then it gets really exciting. I'm a stuntman. On my list. Well, it depends. Is this a list that I've worked on, or you want to know a list as far as like goals and things I want to try to get onto?